Hey everybody, this is Jennifer from This Mama's Getting Fit. I have missed you guys. I have missed uploading on YouTube and I'm so sorry. And I've got a lot to tell you and a lot to catch you up on. So I don't want to make this long. Let's get going. So I did record an update video on February 25th. It was a Sunday and I had every intention of uploading it, but life took a turn. And that is what we're going to talk about. Sunday the 25th of February, I started to feel really awful. I was already fighting off some sort of a respiratory and cold or something or other, and had been fighting that for about a week. But on Sunday, I started to have stomach pain, and I was very concerned, and I recognized the pain as being diverticulitis pain. I just kind of thought, well, I'm just gonna wait, see what happens, see what comes of it. So I went through my day on Sunday, did my normal things. On Monday morning, woke up, went to work. As I went through my day on Monday, I was unable to eat normally. I think I just like ate little crumbs here and there. And by the time I left work, I was feeling pretty awful. I went to bed that night hoping and praying that it was my imagination, but I woke up in the middle of the night, and that would have been Tuesday morning about 3 a.m. in excruciating pain and doubled over. And I knew right there and then it was my diverticulitis. There was no denying it, and I needed to get myself to the emergency room. My husband is a middle school teacher, and we've been through this like a million times. I no longer require him to come with me to the emergency room when I go through this. So I just woke him up, told him what was going on, called myself an Uber, and got to the hospital. After several hours and a CAT scan later, it was confirmed that yes, I indeed did have an infection. I was put on the typical antibiotics that I'm always put on, which is Cipro and Flagyl. And if you've ever had Flagyl, you will know it's from Satan. It's from the depths of hell. It tastes like garbage. It smells like garbage, and it makes you feel like garbage, but it does fight infection. I started my regimen. This was now on Tuesday. Well, Tuesday, I spent the day in bed, was not able to eat, took my antibiotics and slept. That's all I did. Wednesday, same story. Just laid in bed, wasn't able to eat, and just did my antibiotics. Then on Thursday, I fully expected to wake up that morning and start to feel better because I know the cycle, and it's usually about day 3 when I start to perk up and feel better. Unfortunately, that's not how this time went. So Thursday morning, I woke up and I felt awful. It actually reminded me of how I felt when I was on chemotherapy in 2008. I just felt nauseous. I was in pain. My brain felt foggy, and I was pretty sure I had a fever. So I went into our kitchen, grabbed the thermometer, took my temperature, and I can't remember exactly what my temperature was, but it was over 101. And I knew that that was not good and not normal. So I ended up taking myself back to the emergency room. I fully expected them to take a look at me and decide to like up my antibiotics or maybe switch them. But after they did another CAT scan, the doctor came in and let me know that my infection had actually spread pretty quickly, and that I now had fluid in my stomach, and they were a little concerned that I may have perforated my bowel. So I was admitted to the hospital on Thursday, and that was on March 1st. It was very scary. It was very upsetting. All the times that I've ever had diverticulitis, this has never happened to me. And so it was pretty scary. I spent Thursday at the hospital. I was not allowed to eat. I was not allowed to drink. I was on IV fluids, IV antibiotics, and some pretty dang strong pain medication. So I basically just kind of slept the whole time. Friday, it was the same story. I didn't feel any better. I felt pretty awful and was not allowed to eat or drink and continued on my antibiotic regimen. On Saturday, when the doctor came around and did rounds, and this was Saturday afternoon after lunch, she took a look at me and decided that it was time to up my diet, and so I was allowed to have a liquid diet for dinner. And I was very excited because to me that meant I was one step closer to coming home. For dinner that night, I can't remember exactly what was on my tray, but I ended up having a couple sips of apple juice and a few sips of beef broth. I was not able to take much in, wasn't very hungry, and actually by the time it hit my stomach, my body was not having it. And everything that went down came right back up, which then caused me not only, upset because I wasn't holding down food, but also my stomach was just, oh, it hurt so bad. So bad. And so unfortunately that was just, it didn't go well. I went to bed that night pretty upset. Although I will say that on Saturday night, that night I had the best night's sleep I had had in a very long time. And Sunday morning when I woke up, it was like a switch had flipped. And I felt really good. I knew that I had turned a corner. So when the nurse came into my room that morning, I let her know that and asked if there was any way I could have liquids for breakfast, and let's try this one more time. So, she got me a liquid tray, and I was able to tolerate it. I didn't order beef broth again. I'm not sure when I'll eat beef broth ever again. So this time we went with chicken. And I held it down. With that food. It just made me feel stronger. I was doing laps around the nurse, around the floor. So I was like feeling like myself. When the doctor came by that morning to do rounds, she was very excited that I had kept my food down. And I begged her, I said, is there any way that I could go home today? I'm really feeling good. And she said, well, before you go home, we really have to make sure you're able to eat. So she let me order a low fiber lunch and said, let's see how that goes. I got my low fiber lunch. I did not eat very much, but at this point I haven't eaten for almost a week. So you can't just dive in to eat a full serving of food when you haven't been eating for a week. So I just kind of nibbled, but I did a pretty good job and I felt great and I held it down. And so after lunch, after they were sure I held it down, the nurse contacted the doctor and the doctor allowed me to go home. And I was so happy. I was so happy. And so I came home that Sunday and I was on this low fiber diet for several days per the doctor's orders. And as soon as I was feeling pretty good, I decided to get myself right back on keto because that's the diet that I know works. But unfortunately, my body revolted. And as soon as I got myself back on keto, I don't know, I think my bowels are just tired. They've gone through a lot and it was just too much. So basically, without getting too gross, if I was to eat the food, the keto food, I would need to be very near the bathroom because immediately after eating, that food was expelled. And so when that happens, your body's not able to absorb nutrients. And for me anyway, that was my body's way of saying, nope, you can't do this right now. You really need to take a chill pill. So I went off the keto and I have made a decision to take a short break. So what I am doing in the meantime is something that my husband's been asking me to do for a long time. He has been doing Nutrisystem with great success and he really wanted me to do it with him because it's always more fun to do something with a partner. The time had not been right for me to do it with him until now, and I just kind of made a decision that I really just wanted to eat some gentle food, just balanced nutrients, and I didn't want to do anything extreme right now because I just need to take it easy. So currently I am on Nutrisystem. So I want to share with you where I'm at weight-wise. I started Nutrisystem on the 15th of March, and at that time I weighed in at 211 on the nose. And if you've been watching my videos, you will know that that's actually quite a bit down from my last update video. So I went through what they call Turbo Week, and my explanation for Turbo Week is that they starve you to death so that you lose tons of weight very quickly, and then you're super excited to stay on the program. So yeah, I did that. I followed it to a T and I was hungry the entire time. I am learning very quickly that fat is way more satiating than any other food. But anyway, I was successful. I lost 3.3 pounds. So my current weight as of today is 207.7. So today is my first day on the regular Nutrisystem diet, which is way more doable for me. You get about 1,200 calories, which I'm a small person, so I don't need much more than that anyway. My maintenance would probably be not very much higher than that anyhow, being as short and small boned as I am. So that kind of gets you caught up to where I'm at. If you're following me because you're interested in my keto journey, I hope you won't give up on me, because this is just a bump in the road, folks. I'm gonna get back on it. And if you came here because you're interested in the Nutrisystem diet, then I hope you'll follow me, because I plan on sharing what's going on with that too. You know, I'm not a believer that there's one holy grail of diets. I think that everybody's different, and therefore there are many diets, and it just depends on what works for you and your lifestyle and your body. So, hey, if you're interested in Nutrisystem, I hope you'll follow me for a bit here while I experiment with it. And then I guess the last thing I want to tell you guys is that if you remember at the beginning of this year in 2018, I started this year off at 230 pounds. So I have lost 22.3 pounds, you guys. Can we give a woo woo? So maybe I'm not doing it the way that I had planned in my little brain. Maybe it's not happening in a straight line, but it's happening, and that's the point. It doesn't matter how you get there necessarily, as long as you're doing it healthfully and mindfully, and that you stay on track. So I'm gonna get there, you guys, and I hope you'll get there with me. So if you are on your own health journey, no matter what that may be, I hope you will follow me as we do this together. So if you have not started following my channel, please do give it a little follow. And then if you did like this video, I hope you will give it a thumbs up, and I will see you guys very soon. Thank you guys so much.